Are you tired of going to the doctor with the same issue over and over again and never getting any relief? Are you tired of buying all types of vitamins and supplements, hoping but not knowing for sure that they will keep you healthy? Or are you getting enough of the right kind of nutrients that your specific body needs? If you answer yes to any of these questions, you need a nutritional blood analysis. With a nutritional blood analysis, we can take one drop of blood from a prick of your finger and analyze your body's nutritional needs, nutritional deficiencies, and nutritional imbalances. This analysis can provide an early warning of possible future health challenges so you can make the changes now to avoid a negative outcome. A nutritional blood analysis can be used to monitor a health challenge before and after adopting an approach to restore health and balance. It will also allow you the ability to determine the effectiveness of various approaches to restoring and balancing your health. So don't wait. Make your appointment. Stop guessing with your health. Know what works for sure. 901-602-7063.
Graphic Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all: color copies, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamps, full-color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30-plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. Graphic Printing. CJ Used Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances have the best prices in town. Sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'm telling you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances. C&S Motors Auto Sales, located at 2508 Summer Avenue, here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-323-8778. C&S Motors Auto Sales has been around since 1984. Go by and see Chris today. Some of the best pre-owned and used vehicles in the city. They have SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, whatever you're looking for in pre-owned used vehicles. Hey, you can find it right there at C&S Motors Auto Sales. See Chris since 1984. They will treat you right. Call them at 901-323-8778. That's 901-323-8778. 2508 Summer Avenue, C&S Motors Auto Sales.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or mobile device. So, can I still talk to my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or a device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.
welcome to another edition live of Talkback Live Sports. It is 2:09, 9 minutes past the hour, 2 o'clock, and we are live in the building, ready to go, ready to get it for another week of sports talk, another week of talking to y'all, man, and I definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in. Another edition, man, a lot of stuff to get into on today. We have a special guest joining me later on to talk about the big Lorenzen Wright honoring a weekend, Memphis basketball legends. But first, and for most of the show, we're going to be recapping the weekend that was, especially when it comes to the NFL and some things that are going on. Because things are you're starting to see some storylines develop. You're starting to see some interesting things come to pass. And this season is going to be really, is already developing to be really, really interesting. So we're going to get into that. Plus, I'm going to start off the show with something a little bit different other than some of the stuff that's been going on this weekend. I'm starting with a thing that is currently happening. And once again, before I get into it, y'all welcome to call into the show, 901-213-6020. Once again, 901-213-6020. You could join me. We could talk. We could chop it up. We can do what it do. And I would definitely appreciate that if y'all get the opportunity. Always feel free to leave comments on Facebook Live as well. See y'all are already deep and in the building. Greg, Jay, Frankie, some more folks I see coming in as well. Jet, I see you in the building as well. Some more folks starting to come in. Be sure you guys, if you get an opportunity, share this video. Just takes one click of the button to hit the share button and let the folks know about the show if they haven't heard already. If they haven't, where you been? We'll still welcome you, even though you're late to the party. But man, so I'm going to start off with something kind of interesting. And it's a little different because this season is not yet in effect, but it's coming up really, really soon. And that's the NBA. And the only reason I'm starting with this, because there's so much football to talk about, is because of this man right here. His name is Andre Iguodala. Iguodala, some people say. Some people say Andre Iguodala. Some people say Iggy. But y'all know who he is, the former NBA Finals MVP. And a man that is currently, technically, literally, a member of the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, a lot of people didn't expect him to still be a member of the team at this point into the season, or leading into the season. Even myself, I thought something would have happened by now, whether it be a buyout or a trade. But the Grizz are holding fast to what they've kind of made known is their strategy up to this point, and that is they're not going to let people go for free anymore. If they feel like they can leverage somebody and get something for them, they're done doing teams favors and just letting them go just to let them go. This is a guy that's a former Finals MVP that's at the end of his career, mind you, but he's also a guy that can still play and be valuable to a championship-level team. And more than likely, what the Grizzlies are betting on is that championship-level team is willing to part with some assets, part with some potential draft picks, maybe part with some young players, maybe just whatever they want. Part with something valuable to get their hands on Andre Iguodala, whether that be the Houston Rockets, whether that be not Oklahoma City anymore, whether that be the Los Angeles Lakers, whether that be the Los Angeles Clippers. All of these teams have been rumored to be interested in the services of Andre Iguodala. Even the Boston Celtics name has come up as well. I was reading this afternoon. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because he's still a member. I kind of made some comments on the fact in a recent interview. So this is him talking about leading up to the trade. He actually predicted that he would end up in Memphis, but a lot of people in the city of Memphis exception to the way that he kind of threw to the side, like, oh, I may end up in Memphis. Here's the quote. He was talking about the trade rumors, things of that nature. Quote from Andre Iguodala. So I'm texting my wife telling her I'll probably get traded because I think it's 100% sure, even though everyone else is saying there's only a chance. Then once KD left, I'm like, yeah, I'll probably get traded. They're probably going to sign and trade so they can't get something back to at least get assets for him. No one was thinking that, but I was thinking they'll want assets back because they can't just let him go. They'll probably move me as well. So she asked, she being his wife, where I thought I would go. I said, I don't know. I'll probably end up in Memphis or some S word. So in Andre Iguodala's vocabulary, Memphis is not just going to the Grizzlies. It's going to Memphis or some S. So Memphis is right there next to that word, according to Andre Iguodala. And that was before he got traded. And lo and behold, he got traded to Memphis. And Iguodala said, quote, when he found out he got traded to Memphis, he fell out on the floor laughing. He made this public in an interview either today or yesterday. So I can't help but think, when you say something like that, you're really not endearing yourself too well. You're not doing a good job of endearing yourself to the city that you're in or your future teammates. Because one thing that's interesting about all this, let's say he doesn't get traded. Let's say the Grizz continue to hold fast to their guns and say, hey, look, we're not moving you. I don't care where you want to go. We're not going to move you unless we like the deal. Now, the Grizz, they want to move him. They want him to be somewhere where he wants to be. But at the same time, they want to get what they want out of the deal. And personally, I don't have a problem with it at all. But you guys, give me your opinion. What do you think about the Andre Iguodala saga? Because people around the league are kind of looking at Memphis like the bad guy here. Saying, Memphis, just let him go. Just let him go where he wants to go. And the Grizzlies are saying, no, we're not going to let you go for free if we can get something for you. Like I said, the Clippers are willing to probably do something. They've talked to the Grizzlies. Houston's talked to the Grizzlies. The Lakers as well. Teams like that. So that's all I'm just saying. Now, a lot of people in Memphis have been taking exception to that. I've been watching social media this afternoon, and people are like, well, Iguodala, you just going to have to stay here and ride the bench. That way. I don't know. I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to go that far, like hold him like a slave or something. But the Grizzlies do have his rights, so technically they can do what they want. And if there's a guy that comes out there and says, hey, I really don't want to be with your team because I think your team is a bunch of S-word, then you probably don't want him playing or around the team too much. So hopefully this gets resolved, because I'm going to be honest with you. Even though I like what the Grizzlies are doing, the more that they hang on to this guy, the more negative press it's going to get. And the more negative press this goes, more negative it goes, the more against the Grizzlies this could end up going. Because on the one hand, it's smart business. You know, you want to get a good deal. And I commend this new front office for actually having the huevos and the guts to actually, you know, kind of stick to their guns with something and not just give in and let a championship level team have a guy that you have on your team just because. I've never been for that. So I commend them for that, but you don't want this to backfire, because the guy that's liked around the league, and other players and his agent, I don't know who his agent is, but you better believe they're talking to these other players. You know, these agents represent multiple guys. And some players may end up not wanting to come to Memphis just because of how ugly the situation may end up getting. So while I agree with the Grizzlies stance, I just hope they don't stick to it too long and turn this into looking stubborn. That's all I'm saying. So continue to leave your comments down there. Let me know what you think. I see some more coming in already. I'm about to transition into some NFL talk here. But let's see. GKP Jet. Jay, how about the Cowboys already coming in? We're going to get to them in just a second. GKP says his best bet is to sign with the Clippers. Kawhi, because GKP said so. Oh, man. I'm sure you would like that. And I think that, look, if he does, if some Clippers, that makes, they're already really good with their perimeter defense and length at the wing position. And having guys to match up, I'm not going to say stop LeBron, but slow him down. They're going to be the best team in the league defending any wing, whether it's Kevin Durant, LeBron. You talk about Iguodala, Kawhi, and then Paul George on the same team. 3 guys are all defensive worthy players. That was GKP also says he was just being truthful, Josh. Yeah, he was. But look, I understand truthful and keeping it real or whatever. But if you're going to a new team, you're not making it too good for yourself, man. I know this is a bunch of young guys. It's not like Jaren Jackson and John Moran are going to beat him up for saying that. They're not going to do that. They'll be honored to play with this guy. This is a guy they grew up watching. These guys are barely 20 years old. So they grew up watching Iguodala. I think he doesn't need to let his frustrations, play out like that publicly with the situation. Even though I understand from his point of view, you want to go somewhere, you want to get it done and out of the way. But the Grizzlies also want to do what they need to do as well. So we'll see what happens. Now, the last quote on this, I'm going to read some more of these comments here. But one last bit of my notes. They asked Iguodala, how do you feel about your future with the Grizzlies? Training camp is coming in less than 2 weeks. These guys are going to have to get together and practice with each other after all this. Iguodala says, okay, and then he says immediately, and these are quotes I'm reading, he says immediately after saying, we'll see. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say we'll see, but we're trying to figure out things on both sides. So, then he says we're on the same page, but we're trying to figure out things on both sides. So that sounds like they're not on the same page at all. So we'll see what happens by the time training camp comes around. And if Iguodala does show up, it's going to make for some interesting news for the Grizzlies in the coming weeks. Greg says Memphis owes him nothing, so therefore they shouldn't let him go for nothing either. That's my mindset also. That's been my mindset the past few months, ever since they traded for Iguodala. Hey, I can't get mad at the Grizz for sticking to their guns. GKP said, let's face it, the Grizzlies suck. And by the way, I'm from Memphis, says the what's. But I'm going to tell you, the Grizz are probably not going to be good this year. Probably not. And I think most fans aren't even worried about that. They're just glad that the team has finally started over. And now we have a new era of youth and excitement. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing this team grow into the future. And that's really the main thing when you talk about heading into this season. Once again, the number to call is 901-213-6020 if you want to talk Grizz, if you want to talk Andre Iguodala, if you want to talk some more of this stuff here, y'all just stay there and let me know, and we're going to get right into it. But as of right now, it's time to get into some NFL conversations. All right, NFL Week 3 is in the books. There's really only one game left when you talk about NFL Week 3, and that's tonight, football. And but before that, because I'm not super interested in this week's Monday Night Football game. I think most people aren't either, if you're honest with yourself. But this week was interesting. Got some interesting news and notes. And we're going to dive into this, man, calling this Around the NFL Week 3 Recap. with yours truly, man. I'm going to start off with the first thing I saw this NFL week for myself. The first game I watched, and that was the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. And I bring this up because you're looking at when I watch those games, right? And I watch it take place. You are watching when you see Lamar Jackson and you see Patrick Mahomes. You are watching the future of the NFL at the quarterback position. Where the NFL's heading. If you're wanting to know where the NFL's heading at the quarterback position, that's it right there. Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, they put on a show. The Ravens defense kept them in it for a while. Lamar Jackson started to lead a comeback toward the end, and it was tough. Wait, hold on. Let me get the comments. If somebody feels neglected, I might have missed something. Hold on. Jet says, you just skip my comment. All right, man, let me go back, because I did not see it. Okay, there it is. Andre Iguodala. Back to my last comment. That is funny. It did naturally make me laugh. But you're not supposed to say that you're hilarious, Jet. So I don't know if I can give you credit when you tell you that you're hilarious on the comments, man. But I appreciate you for watching as well. But going back to the NFL, so I was watching more. And, you know, one thing I noticed about Lamar Jackson, you can see his dramatic improvement from year one to year two. He deserves all the credit in the world for that, especially in the passing game and seeing how he's improved himself. But what's interesting about the Ravens, they don't really run good plays for the most part. They let him do what he wants to do out there, and I think that's a good thing. He has a lot of but I can't help but think, when I watch the Ravens, I'm watching a backyard baseball team. Or a backyard football team, that is. I feel like, you know, when you're in the kid on the front yard or whatever it is, you're playing with your friends, and you don't really have no plays. You ain't got no plays going on or nothing. But you're just running around in circles and throwing it up in the air and hoping it comes down with it. That's what the Ravens offense is. They run the ball a lot, and when they throw it, Lamar Jackson's just, you know, doing the old Michael Vick impersonation, running in, making everybody miss, and he either runs for a long gain or he throws it up in the air 75 yards, and somebody comes down and catch. That happened way too many times in the game against Kansas City, but it made it. Ravens made it close. But the real deal in this game, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City is the real deal. Patrick Mahomes is the real deal. Period. This guy is legit. We're talking about a top 2 quarterback in this league right now. It's either him and I think it's him and Aaron Rodgers at this point. I'm even putting him ahead of Tom Brady. And I know that may be saying a lot as he's in his second year starting. His third year as his second year starting, third year as a pro. But this guy is amazing. I mean, amazing. Plus, he does have the benefit of having a ton of wide receiving weapons all around him. He found out that he had another one that he may not have known about because Tyreek Hill has been out. Tyreek Hill is big time for the Kansas City Chiefs, but, big game breaker. But Denard Robinson, the former Michigan quarterback, was amazing in this game. Looks like he's another one of their game breakers along with Travis Kelce and along with the rest of the receivers they have. So Kansas City, team to watch out for in the NFL, AFC in particular. But don't sleep on the Ravens either. I like Lamar Jackson and all of those company. Now, next, and it's not because of the comments demanding Cowboys talk. It's because I had them second on the list. So y'all need to be happy. There's other teams in the league, y'all. So I got to go through other teams. But secondly, I had them right here. The Dallas. they deserve some talk. They deserve some talk because they're 3-0. They're at the top of the NFC least. I'm sorry, the NFC East. The NFC East, they are on top of the mountain once again because Philly is not looking good, because the Giants are the Giants, and because the Redskins are the Redskins. Those are the three teams in the division, and none of them are all that good right now. But you got to get the Cowboys. They win another game. They beat another terrible team in the Miami Dolphins. They did what they're supposed to do to a bad team, and that's beat them down. And that's what. But I got to say this, y'all, and y'all can't tell me you weren't a little worried in that first half. GKP, all the rest of y'all, whoever else is Cowboy fans, Frankie, I see you in the back. You know, all of y'all Cowboy fans, y'all can't tell me you weren't a little worried about those little light blue Dolphins, as intimidating as they look with their light blue uniforms. The sky blue, you know, they put it on y'all for a minute and almost made it look like it would be a game, but the Cowboys got it together. And thanks in part to the man himself, Tony Pollard. Yes, Tony Pollard. Y'all remember Tony Pollard? Melrose High School graduate. Memphis Star playmaker. Back. Kick returner. Receiver out of Mr. Everything. Had his first 100-yard game as a Cowboy this past weekend, and it was great. I'm happy for Tony Pollard. I think this combination of Ezekiel Elliott has the potential to be dangerous immediately. Pollard, I don't think him, you know, usually with rookies, you think the acclimation process. He's a playmaker. He makes plays. That's what he does. He's fast. He's a better running back in between the tackles than people give him for, because he was so dynamic outside of the backfield and turning kicks. But you put him in between the hedges, man, and run the ball up the middle. Not the best in the world, but he can break tackles. He can cut. He's got good vision. Saw that on display in his last game. He had 128 total yards and all-purpose yards in this weekend's game. So shout out to Tony Pollard. Memphis alum doing big things. Shout out to another Memphis alum that was in the same game, Bobby McCain. Remember Bobby McCain? He was the defensive back under the Justin Fuente era. The guy that was the T.J. Carter before T.J. Carter, so to speak. An interception machine at Memphis. People wondering where he was. He's with the Miami Dolphins. He's been with them for a while. He's one of the top corners. And he got an interception in this game of Dak Prescott. GAP, Dak Prescott threw an interception to Memphis alum Bobby McCain. Shout out to him. Glad to see him still having a good NFL career. The comment here, Greg said, I wasn't nervous. Knew they would work it out in the second half. Didn't know anything about Josh Rosen. They were playing down to... There's no question. The Cowboys are way better than the Dolphins. And it looked like one of those situations where you're a bad team, and unfortunately those good teams, like always the case at any level, the good team comes in and plays down the competition. They can now have a cakewalk. But you always got to remember, these are professionals too. And the Dolphins let them know, but the Cowboys took care of business again. So congratulations to you guys. Another win, another week, another victory for the Cowboys. But I cannot another team that's had an easier schedule. Maybe the Patriots. I think Greg brought that up this morning, and that's fair. Than the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys and the Patriots have had some really cakewalks into this season. When they really start facing some competition here, what type of stuff they're making. And I want to believe, not spending a little time talking about the Cowboys, I don't mind. I want to believe in Dak Prescott, because I like Dak ever since Mississippi State. I believed in Dak when You know, he was at Mississippi State. I believed he could throw the ball. I believe he could lead men. And I honestly think Dak they're letting the reins off of him a little bit. They're letting him do more of what he does. He's a little more comfortable under Kellen Moore's offense, the offensive coordinator, who's the former backup quarterback for the Cowboys. Kellen Moore also was a great quarterback at Boise State. Y'all don't know, man. I'm showing off my NFL knowledge. I know so much. I don't get to go deep like this sometimes, but now, free reign, I can just dive into everything in my brain here. But Kellen Moore is a great quarterback at Boise State, and is a young offensive coordinator. And I see why Jerry Jones put him at O coordinator, because I like the way that the Cowboys' offense is looking right now. They're playing to Dak's strengths. The offensive line is solid. The defense is legit. So we'll see, man. This is one of the better Cowboys teams they've put together overall in a while. So we'll see how legit they are when they start getting into deeper competition. Another thing, when they talk about the NFC East, let me go to another team, the Philadelphia Eagles. People love the Eagles for some reason. People love Carson Wentz for some reason. Why? Why do we love Carson Wentz all of a sudden? He gets so many passes from the media. So many passes from everybody. And I understand, look, I know Alshon Jeffrey is hurt. I know Deshaun Jackson is hurt. But that always happens to the Eagles. I don't know what's going on with the Eagles, man. Ever since Terrell Owens and Donovan McNabb and Brian Westbrook days, they always had injuries to key guys at the wrong time. You think back to when McNabb and T.O. were together. That year they were unstoppable, right? T.O. gets hurt at the wrong time, and he's hurt during that whole playoff run. Tries to come back in the Super Bowl, has a great performance. But injuries happen to the Eagles at the wrong time. Nick Foles, when he was playing like an MVP candidate, what happens? He gets hurt. Not Nick Foles, but Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz gets hurt when he's an MVP candidate, and Nick Foles comes in and saves the day. Last year, same thing happened again. Carson Wentz gets hurt, and Nick Foles comes in and steadies the ship. There's no Nick Foles to fall back to this year, Carson Wentz. There's no Nick Foles to save you, Carson Wentz and the Eagles. So what are they going to do this year? It's up to Carson Wentz to stay healthy and prove all these folks that keep hyping him so much that, that he is who he is. So we'll see, man. People love Carson Wentz. I had to get in on that because I just don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe he'll show me one day, but I'm not a believer in them. The Giants, and I know I'm just going down the NFC East, but I'm not going to go into the Redskins. But the Giants. We talked last week about Eli Manning getting benched. We talked about, the man himself getting benched and being put out of commission there in place of Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones was a guy that I criticized quite a bit myself, to be real with you. He was the guy that I'm like, why are you drafting this dude out of Duke? He didn't really play against anybody, and when he did play against competition, he didn't play that well, looking at his statistics in college. But I got to say, and I know it was against the Buccaneers, so you take that for what it is. He impressed me. He impressed. He had 336 yards, 2 touchdowns, passing, and 2 rushing touchdowns. I didn't know he was that mobile. I had no clue he was that mobile of a quarterback. Matter of fact, they clocked that touchdown run at the end of the game, toward the end of the game, at 20 miles per hour. His top speed was 20 miles per hour running into the end zone, which was faster than Lamar Jackson's top speed so far from this season. So, I'm shocked about that. So, we'll see, man. Does Daniel Jones end up being the right pick for these guys? We'll see. We'll see how it will turn out. Another team to talk about, and that is the Buffalo Bills. What a weird week, right? Who would have thought I'd be talking about the Buffalo Bills? Why? Why would anybody talk about the Buffalo Bills? Well, they just happen to be 3-0. I don't know how many people actually know this, but the Buffalo Bills are 3-0. And they're heading into a matchup next week with the New England Patriots. 3-0 versus 3-0. Patriots versus Bills. Now, if people want to say the Bills haven't played anybody, well, the Patriots sure haven't played anybody. They've had a very weak schedule. But the Patriots do what they do, and they've made mincemeat out of their weak schedule. Almost like Ohio State type of schedule. You know they're not going to play anybody to start the year off. They're just going to start off and beat up and destroy these little nobodies to start the year. The Jets are a disgrace of a franchise, so you know that was going to happen. But the Buffalo Bills are 3-0. Josh Allen, their quarterback, looking decent. I'm not going to say great. He's looking decent. The big quarterback out of Wyoming that the Buffalo Bills took a chance on. What do you think? Do you think the Bills could be legit? Are they the real deal? We shall see going forward, man. But it's going to be interesting to keep up with them in AFC East. So that is the majority of my rundown. I'm going to a little bit more here. But before I do, I'm going to take a commercial break because it is 2:40. 40 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock. A very pleasant good afternoon to you guys as we go around the NFL right here on Talkback Live Sports. Y'all stay tuned, man. I'm going to be right after these commercial messages. And you know we got to take commercials, man. Very important stuff. So y'all know what it is. So we're going to go to break. Can't talk all day, but we're going to be back in just a moment talking about more things. So y'all stay tuned. Talkback Live Sports here on Talkback Live Network. Y'all stay tuned.
Are you tired of going to the doctor with the same issue over and over again and never getting any relief? Are you tired of buying all types of vitamins and supplements, hoping but not knowing for sure that they will keep you healthy? Or are you getting enough of the right kind of nutrients that your specific body needs? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you need a nutritional blood analysis. With a nutritional blood analysis, we can take one drop of blood from a prick of your finger and analyze your body's nutritional needs, nutritional deficiencies, and nutritional imbalances. This analysis can provide an early warning of possible future health challenges so you can make the changes now to avoid the negative outcome. A nutritional blood analysis can be used to monitor a health challenge before and after adopting an approach to restore health and balance. It will also allow you the ability to determine the effectiveness of various approaches to restoring and balancing your health. So don't wait. Make your appointment. Stop guessing with your health. Know what works for sure. 901-602-7063.
B Graphic Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all: color copy, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamp, full color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30 plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. C Graphics Printing. CJU's Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJU's Appliances have the best prices in town. Sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwaves, stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'm telling you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances.
And welcome back to the show, TalkBack Live Sports. We're going to continue with the Around the NFL segment, man. Just a few more minutes left in the show. So y'all keep it locked in here with a few minutes. If y'all want to get in and talk about your favorite team, you want to talk about what you saw out of this week, what stood out to you, you're welcome to do so. 901-213-6020. I talked about the Cowboys. I talked about the Buffalo Bills. I talked about the Kansas City Chiefs, the Giants, the Eagles. And I want to mention a team I was proud of, and really a player I was proud to see do well. And that was my man, Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy B was back in the building in full effect after his devastating injury to his knee, where it could have ended his career. It could have been a done deal for Teddy Bridgewater, but he came back and he won a game. He beat the Seattle Seahawks I think it was in Seattle, as a matter of fact. Pretty big game. Seattle been playing pretty well, not defensively, but Russell Wilson's been doing a good job. But Teddy Bridgewater, man, the former Louisville Cardinal, same place as Lamar Jackson, before Lamar Jackson was there. And the guy who, of course, is a black quarterback, and a guy that came in with a lot of promise as a pocket passer, that could throw from the pocket. That's what he did the majority of his time in Louisville. He had some athleticism, but he was not the prototypical like a Lamar Jackson or something. He threw from the pocket, and he threw well. Did some good things with Minnesota, taking them to the playoffs. Looks like he was starting to get his groove as a starter, and that injury came down at the worst possible time. But I am glad to see him back and winning a game. He was the backup quarterback for Drew Brees, who went down with his injury. He's going to be out for 6 weeks, which including last week, so now 5 more weeks at least. So Teddy Bridgewater's got a lot of time to prove himself, because he's going to be the man going forward. And after this performance in this game against the Seahawks, I think the eyes are open a little bit on Teddy Bridgewater, and that he could be a starter again in this league. Of course, it's Drew Brees' job when he gets back. Don't get me wrong. He's a legend in New Orleans. But I think he's entering the end of his career. So if you're the Saints, do you hang on to Teddy Bridgewater as possibly your quarterback of the future, which could be closer than they think? So we'll see going forward, man. But I was glad to see Teddy Bridgewater do his thing in his first game back since that devastating knee injury. Now, to the situation in sports over the past several weeks. I'm going to get to the man himself, Antonio Brown. Now, I wanted to get the real games out of the way first, because they deserve to talk first before Antonio Brown, who's not even currently an active member of the league right now. Because unless you've been sleeping under a boulder, you know that the Patriots released Antonio Brown this past Friday when the news broke. And, you know, it's really interesting. It was either Friday or Saturday. I think it might have been Saturday. But he's no longer a member of the New England Patriots, the team that actually took a chance on him. And it seems to be that the last straw, I'm gonna bring the music down. This is kind of a serious thing now. The last straw in the Antonio Brown situation seemed to be the latest accusation of sexual misconduct with a woman. And that came out, another woman last week, came out to Sports Illustrated and said he did some things that was inappropriate. She's not even asking for any money. She's not asking for nothing. She just wanted to let it be known that he did these things. You know, he stood behind her naked with a washcloth while she painted a portrait that he hired her to do in his house. A lot of weird, confusing things about that situation. But that wasn't the reason why the Patriots cut him. The reason why the Patriots cut him, it seems, has something to do with what happened after those allegations dropped last week. According to this accuser, he sent what she deems threatening text messages to her phone last week. Last week. Why are you even texting this woman? Why are you even communicating with her at all? With all this stuff going on, he needs to be focusing on football. You're actually on a team. You're on a team that could win the Super Bowl again. The defending Super Bowl champions. The trendsetter, the trademark, the standard bearer, so to speak, as people say, in this league. You're on that franchise. The New England Patriots. No matter what people want to think about, that's what they are. You're there. You got a chance to be a legendary combo with you and Tom Brady. And you're spending time, you know, seemingly threatening this other woman. But here's what really happened, okay? And y'all can let me know if you think this is threatening or not. So he was texting, he included her number in a group text with his lawyer and his team. Not the football team, but his team, his posse, his guys, which included his lawyer, I believe his agent, and some other people that he knows. That he said, hey, look, this is the woman right here. He sent them a picture. Okay? He sent them a picture of her. He sent them a picture of her children. Y'all hear me again? He sent them a picture of her and her children, circling, all of that stuff. Here's what her kids look like. I need y'all to find out all you can about this woman. She says this and this happened. And the weird thing about it, like I said, she received all these texts in a group text and saw everybody else respond. They're like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We're going to see what we can find out. We're going to see what we can do about this situation. So she reported this, I guess to the authorities or to the NFL or whoever, because they found out. And then, shortly after, Antonio Brown was no longer a member of the New England Patriots. Now, he still practiced this past Friday. He actually practiced with them this past Friday. And one has to wonder, maybe the Patriots didn't know about this latest thing, because I think this came down Thursday night, about him sending these text messages to her. Friday morning, he's still practicing with the Patriots. So that's a little wondering. You wonder if they knew about it, you would think they wouldn't let him practice. Maybe they found out later in the day. I don't know. But all I know is it was swift enough that the Patriots kind of redirected their stance, because Bill Belichick had who doesn't like to talk about anything. Bill Belichick had actually said some encouraging things about Antonio Brown. So he's been here, he's been working hard, he's been doing everything we've asked him to do. Belichick seemed extremely annoyed with the constant questions about Antonio Brown every single day, including, once again, forgive me, I don't know if it was Thursday or Friday, but he literally walked out of the press conference. Coach Belichick walked out of the press conference when they were asking questions about Antonio Brown. He was getting sick of it. He's like, how many more questions do you have to ask about this guy? And that was my point from the start. The Patriots, Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, Tom Brady, whoever you want to say, the last thing they want is distractions. Y'all know how the Patriots operate. Y'all know how they do what they do. They do not like distractions. Can't do it. Can't deal with it. Not going to deal with it. They have lower patience than most when it comes to those things. And honestly, I think they've been pretty patient, all things considered, with Antonio Brown. So this happens. Antonio Brown's cut from the Patriots. Then Antonio Brown gets on social media and starts to say, hey, look, this past Sunday, Antonio Brown, who's now a free agent, gets on Twitter and runs his mouth off. He says, I'm done playing in the NFL. I'm done. I'm done. He says, I'm done. He says, Big Ben Roethlisberger. I wish I had more time to talk about this, but he said Big Ben Roethlisberger was not suspended, was not punished that much. I think maybe 4 games or whatever, for his sexual assault allegations, which y'all remember, in a club in Georgia. Columbus, Georgia, I believe, is where the club was. So I don't know what Big Ben's doing down there, but there's a sexual assault allegation down there on Big Ben Roethlisberger, Steelers quarterback. Nothing much ever came from that. He talked about Robert Kraft having his own sexual problems with the massage parlor that he was caught in. That he was caught in. Some people trying to tie to him and the president. That's a whole nother story. But Antonio Brown brought that up too. You're the owner of the Patriots that just cut me for these allegations. And you got this going on with yourself. He says, funny how they look at certain people certain ways. But with me, they want to cut me. That's not a direct quote, but it's basically what Antonio Brown was saying on social media. So quick question. Y'all can leave these answers in the comments because I don't have much time. Do you think Antonio Brown had a point? Did he have a point in his art, despite the crazy stuff that he's been spouting, despite the ridiculous attitude that he's brought up and his behavior? Did he have a point in that aspect that Big Ben didn't get punished at his former team? I believe he was there at the time, Antonio Brown. And how Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, had some situations going on. Got arrested. Matter of fact, Robert Kraft got arrested. And nothing happened to him either. So he feels that treating him unfairly. Now, my quick thoughts on this. The reason why I don't buy it in this case, one, he may have a point in those two situations, but two, man, you did this to yourself. The Patriots took a chance on you, man. They didn't have to take a chance. They didn't have to sign you. The Patriots would have been fine. They did not have to sign him. But they did it anyway to hopefully give him another chance and hopefully take this Patriots offense to the next level. You better believe that was priority number one. It wasn't giving Antonio Brown a chance. It was a matter of improving the Patriots offense. So all I'm saying is they gave him a chance. He had to go and include that woman in that text message group, which could have been deemed a threat. And the Patriots already don't like the situation with Brittany Jones that came up. And so they have to deal with this. Another woman comes out and says something. They just said, we're going to cut our losses. And now, if all things stick, my last and final point, if all things stick, can you imagine this? Antonio Brown started this season with a $30 million guaranteed contract with the Oakland Raiders. He lost that. He got a second chance and got $9 million guaranteed under conditions with the Patriots. He lost that. So now he's sitting here with nothing. With nothing. But $158,000 plus that he might get at most for this entire NFL season. You go from $30 million guaranteed to zero in a span of 0 to 100. And I just got to think, Antonio Brown, you got to be smarter than that. But as for today, man, that's going to do it for me on today. So, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, for watching, for listening on Spreaker, which I'm live on Spreaker as it is, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in on Facebook on our TalkBack Live pages, and everything else. Appreciate the people that shared this video as well. I will be back tomorrow to talk more sports. Hopefully going to get my segment in with Dominic Lawson. Got a lot of stuff to talk about in the business of sports segment, making his debut tomorrow. So y'all stay tuned for that in the 2:35 hour tomorrow evening. So y'all stay tuned, man. But that's going to do it for me today. And okay, just got word Tamara Henderson will be on the show tomorrow, which you know Tamara Henderson's nutritional blood analysis. Tomorrow morning. Yeah, tomorrow morning. And on Talkback Live with Bob and Josh. So y'all stay tuned for that. Y'all been hearing us talk about it, where you're going to hear her talk about it on tomorrow's show with us as well. So y'all stay tuned for that. Matter of fact, if you want to hear more about it, you're about to hear about it right now, because I'm out of here, and we will talk to you guys next time.
Are you tired of going to the doctor with the same issue over and over again and never getting any relief? Are you tired of buying all types of vitamins and supplements, hoping but not knowing for sure that they will keep you healthy? Or are you getting enough of the right kind of nutrients that your specific body needs? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you need a nutritional blood analysis. With a nutritional blood analysis, we can take one drop of blood from a prick of your finger and analyze your body's nutritional needs, nutritional deficiencies, and nutritional imbalances. This analysis can provide an early warning of possible future health challenges, so you can make the changes now to avoid the negative outcome. A nutritional blood analysis can be used to monitor a health challenge before and after adopting an approach to restore health and balance. It will also allow you the ability to determine the effectiveness of various approaches to restoring and balancing your health. So don't wait. Make your appointment. Stop guessing with your health. Know what works for sure. 901-602-7063.
Graphics Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all: color copies, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamps, full-color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30-plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. Graphics Printing. CJ Used Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances have the best prices in town. Sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'll tell you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances. C&S Motors Auto Sales, located at 2508 Summer Avenue, here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-323-8778. C&S Motors Auto Sales has been around since 1984. Go by and see Chris today for some of the best pre-owned and used vehicles in the city. They have SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, whatever you're looking for in pre-owned used vehicles. Hey, you can find it right there at C&S Motors Auto Sales. See Chris since 1984. They will treat you right. Call them at 901-323-8778. That's 901-323-8778, 2508 Summer Avenue, C&S Motors Auto Sales.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or a device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.